You really did your research with my introduction because I came with nothing today. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not talking about the Himalayas, and everyone has been asking me to do that, but I promise when I'm back in 6 weeks, we will talk about that. So, imagine Sunday morning, you wake up, you pick up the Sunday Times, the local Sunday Times newspaper, with 3 million readers, and you see your photo on page 3. So, there I was, in the paper, and this is what the journalist had to say about myself and my sister. We are giraffe-like. Never mind the fact that Tony and Gani is in the middle of the picture. That wasn't the shocking moment when I picked up that paper and read, I am being compared to a giraffe. This brought up emotions from growing up and being teased about our height, and you can see how tall my sister and I are. We were constantly teased about being tall throughout our whole childhood school life. We were compared to giraffes. I was really angry at the journalists like me. And I remember my sister saying to me, I believe we're in the paper, have you seen it yet? I tried to hide it from her, and eventually I said, you know what? I know how bad it was for her. Being the older sister, I always wanted to protect her. And I said, Craig Jacobs, the journalist, had compared us to giraffes. I said, we're the giraffes, expecting this person to cheer and really be upset. The reaction was one of, yes! We have a nickname in the media. We're the Giraffe Sisters. And from there, we each developed our unique brand tag of being called the Giraffe. So I'll ask you, what's your giraffe? What's your thing that stands out tall, high, and above the rest? Your uniqueness. Take a step back and let's define it with personal branding. Personal branding is the way of managing your online and offline reputation. It's the way people think and see you. It's what you're doing online and it's what you're doing offline. And I thought I'd share some easy steps on building your own personal brand. Or perhaps spring is on the way and you want to do a bit of a cleanup and a revamp of your personal brand. I'm going to share some basic tips with you. Firstly, decide what makes you unique. Decide what makes you stand up above the rest. Spend some time alone, away from the office, away from where you are, defining these questions. What's your vision for your personal brand? Your goal for your personal brand? Your professional goals? What have you done in your career that makes you stand up? And what you're planning to do to make you remarkable? Who's your audience? And what you're selling to and what you're talking to? Now, the term personal branding has been around since 2007. And it doesn't matter where you are in your career. It doesn't matter if you just started out looking for a job. Personal branding is on a team. You might say to me, Liezel, I don't need a personal brand because I don't need a job. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a speaker. But most businesses and most customers look at online presence before purchasing a product or before hiring a speaker or making use of an SME. So what's your personal brand doing for you? By the year 2020, most workers will be freelancing anyway. This is a stat according to Career Builder. So you don't want to be in charge of a personal brand and have nothing out there and allowing people to build a reputation for you and allowing people to say something about your brand that you have no control over. The next step is to build your digital legacy. You need to be deciding what is being said about you out there, ladies and gentlemen. You need to be updating your website or your blog, not just sharing content onto LinkedIn, but pointing it back to your website or your blog. The next thing is setting up your digital network and social networks. Without answering those first questions that I asked you, what makes you unique, who you're talking to, you won't be able to set up your social networks because you don't know who you're speaking to. So you'll just be shouting out a message into the abyss of the Internet of Things and hoping that that lands somewhere and someone will see it. But once you've defined your uniqueness, defined your audience, you'll know exactly who you're talking to. Just a month ago, my friend Nadia said to me, Liezel, I've applied for 5 jobs via LinkedIn, and I haven't heard back from one of them. I said, that's strange. Normally, companies will get back to you. When last did you update your LinkedIn profile? She said, I haven't done it in 2 years. How are you applying for a job via LinkedIn, which is your resume? Via LinkedIn, you're applying, and companies are seeing it. So they're already building an idea of what your brand's about. The next thing is email marketing. And I often hear this saying, email marketing is dead. No one wants to receive email marketing. But a couple of months ago, a trainer from LA that works with Instagram came and gave a talk to a bunch of female entrepreneurs. And I was sitting in the audience, and her only topic to talk on and train us on was Instagram. But she started with this question: how many of you have an email marketing database? Half the room put up their hands. And she said, why? To the other half that didn't have their hands up. Well, we've got Instagram, we've got Facebook, we've got LinkedIn, we've got our own databases. And she said, but what happens if Facebook goes down? What happens if Instagram stops working? If LinkedIn shuts down? Where's all your contacts then? The next step, ladies and gentlemen, well, before we get to that, let me just give you, if you're online present, just remember to be yourself, be authentic, think twice before posting. Time and time again, we see it in the papers, someone has posted something or other. So just be aware, if you're angry about something that someone's posting about you, take some time, relax, and answer it. And remember to be consistent. Consistency is key when it comes to branding. Our next step, am I also having some digital gremlins? Weave your brand into everything you do. So you might say, Liezel, it's easy for you. You've already established a brand. You're a television and radio presenter. It's going to be harder work for me. However, ladies and gentlemen, it is harder work for me because to the media, and I'll quote what 2 magazines have said about me in the past: you're just a blonde TV presenter and you're boring. Not 1 magazine, but 2 magazines had said that about me. I'm boring? Well, the tabloid had said I was boring because I don't go out drinking, I don't go out partying, I don't go smoking. They've got no reason to write about me. The other was an editor of a runner's magazine that said, why are you even taking on the Ironman triathlon? You're just a blonde TV presenter. You'll never be able to do it. Little did he know that fueled me to get through the race.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, of course I'm a blonde TV presenter. There's so many of them out there. What's going to set me apart from the rest? Go back to that first slide. The journalist had called me a giraffe. I know I'm tall. Everywhere I go, people mention that I'm tall, and when I wear heels, I'm even taller. So why don't I just own that and start having fun with it? And that's exactly what I started to do. I started to post fun, quirky pictures of me playing on my giraffe Liezel, carrying my giraffe everywhere, and sitting in the felt with my giraffe mug, and that is a pair of giraffe pajamas that was sent to me by a company from Portugal. And after a while, this started to happen. I checked into a hotel in Neisner. My towel on my bed was full. Puma had sent me this jacket with giraffe on the back. But it goes more than just me being fun and quirky and showing all those pictures. It's about constantly talking about the message. So I've started to back giraffe organizations because giraffes are on the decline. There's only 50,000 of them left in the world. Spend a lot of time talking about that and also just presenting my giraffe brand. You'll see my name, Liezel, into the giraffe logo, which I carry through everywhere. Often as brands, and I looked at a few of the presentations that were on earlier, you're not carrying your brand through to various presentations. I wasn't pointing out, but little things like that takes your brand a step further. The other thing is checking your online and offline identity, your visual identity. Gone are the days where you market yourself online and separately offline. They joined in. Just last week at the gym, a group of corporate execs had come through. Sorry, Mom. a group of corporate execs had come through to train at our gym. And my trainer said, "Do you know which company they work for?" And I said, "No." And I looked at the sports brand and I saw various sporting brands, and we all recognized the ticks, the 3 stripes and everything else. I said, "I had no idea who they work for." And he said, "These 15 people are from company X," and I'm not going to name the company, but a big international sports manufacturing fitness range. And not one of their staff was wearing corporate clothing. They were wearing mixed brands. So I often encourage employers to invest in building their staff's personal brand. And the first reaction I get from employers are, no, I can't have my staff's brand bigger than mine. But that's going to have a halo effect on your organization. And it's only going to shine down on you and build up your brand. Does anyone know who this guy is? Well, if you're in the world of triathlon, you will know who he is. He spent the last 10 years building up his online and offline presence to be the biggest triathlon club in South Africa. He's one person. And he's got triathlon clubs all around South Africa. Everywhere he goes, you'll see him bark on his car, on TV, product. He manufactured product, triathlon kits, with his brand. And each and every triathlete that's out there, that's in his club, wears his brand, and he's a walking billboard. I chose this as an example because this is someone that's based in Cape Town, and I wanted to choose a brand that's proudly Cape Townian and proudly South African. So he took simple things like branding his car, branded kit, and just walking around in his branded gear. Last week in the spin class, he was the spinning instructor at the Virgin. He was wearing his Embark gear. And I thought, wow, this guy's really carrying his brand through. This is his website. There are all his triathletes. See the message going straight through. So ladies and gentlemen, spend time discovering what your online and offline message is. It doesn't help that you have 2 different messages. Your online message, you go out and you wear something that you're not branded in. And it's not only about branding. We'll look locally. Hector wearing his yellow. He's always known for wearing his yellow wherever he goes. That's his standout thing. My standout thing is the green. And there's always something giraffe-y on me, whether it's an earring or whether it's a badge, a giraffe in the pocket. So ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you, do you want to leave your personal brand for someone else to build up and build that legacy for you? Or do you want to develop your own giraffe, your own uniqueness? Thank you.